everyone, I'm Manna. This is Maru. That's Momo, who has decided she no longer wants to snuggle with me. And I don't have any of the kittens right now. So, we are back with more of the letter, and I'm trying to get myself comfortable because I thought I was, and then I wasn't. Anywho, when we last left off, we met Luke Wright as Marianne, almost had a one-night stand with him, and then we went and met Rebecca at the library. And now we're getting ready to actually start work on the Ermengarde mansion. We'll read our journal real quick. Tuesday, October 18th. Marianne went to the Crawl Bar, also called the Galway Shawl by its patrons, for a night out with her close friends, Cam and Haruna. When they left, Marianne was seen with a stranger whom she only referred to as Whiskey. In turn, she was called Mint. Marianne and Whiskey went back to her condo after having one too many drinks. However, Marianne changed her mind about the one-night stand and ended up sharing tea with him instead. The next morning, the stranger left nothing but a note and a bottle of painkillers. Saturday, October 22nd, Marianne befriended Rebecca Gales during a visit to the library. Marianne received a call from Rose Cooper afterwards informing her that the Ermengarde Mansion's floor plans were ready for pickup at their office. Okay, that was all the new there. Okay, cool. And then relationships. Somehow went up with Luke after we turned him down. Figure that one out. Alrighty. So, let's jump back in. As it looks like I'm on the clock starting today, I might as well eat. Grabbing some fish and chips from one of the street food stalls, I find a table to spend time with a copy of Marquise de Sade's The Crime of Love, since Rebecca left with the book I wanted. I've read this one before, along with the rest of his works. This would be the 18th time, in fact. But it's always nice to read through it again when I don't have time to enjoy something new. Besides, when you're dealing with people so filthy rich that they just end up plain filthy, you need the good old Marquise sound advice.
La blessure se trouvant sans aucune sorte de conséquence.
Yo no hablo French. That's what I got for you. The wound being without any consequence. Okay, sure. Of course, it's folly to think that things have no consequence when everything actually does. Oop, okay, at least I didn't skip it. Briar Realty Corporation's Luxbourne branch isn't too far off from the city center. Just a few blocks away, and I can easily eat and walk. Prefer not to. Choking hazard. I'd rather use this time to rest before I go into a flurry of activity. No doubt there will be so much to do once we get hands on the mansion.
Still a lot better than working on another condo, at least.
Fair. Surely, no matter how much BRC and the old owners put into the restoration and preservation of the place, any big repairs would be superficial at most. I am quite certain that, in their haste to sell the property, they did a rush job. It isn't an infrequent thing to do, despite how it is frowned upon. There will be a lot of hidden issues that I will need to weed out, and I have to make sure I find every single one of them, especially the more serious damages. Structural integrity is definitely on top of the list we will have to consider. The building might look sturdy, but is centuries old. That alone will likely pose a few problems here and there, but put limitations on what we can do. Besides, despite how much I detest these rich snobs, they can pay rather handsomely, so long as I do an excellent job and do more than necessary. Those two things always made sure the referrals keep coming. I don't even have to hunt down projects for myself. When I do go up to BRC's office, I can't help but stop and stare when I enter the building. With the lunch hour closing, employees should have been back already if they still aren't filtering through the doors. I get that it's a Saturday, that people probably feel tired and lazy to be working on a weekend. But they're still on the clock and not bumming about, wasting company time on extended lunch breaks and cigarette sessions. The office is spacious, as it is with these big corporations. Each person is given their little space of what's usually a 2 by 2 meter cubicle. There's a lot more empty chairs than there are actual people working at their desks. It reminds me far too much of my last day at Orizkova project during the massive layoffs due to the Irish economic crisis. But it isn't just that, though. Everything is as quiet as a grave, as if these people are merely ghosts. Speaking of ghosts, Santos comes in through the door, looking as if she's just seen one. She looks at me, wide-eyed like a deer caught in the headlights, ready to bolt away at any moment. So this is right after Isabella went out to lunch with Rebecca and Zach. And she's seen the spirit in the glass stalking her. So, the ghost is currently active in the story. Somewhere. I'd ask out of concern, but I feel it's not my position to do so. What if it's something personal? I'd simply be overstepping my boundaries. And you won't know unless you ask. Like, hey, are you okay? Really, it's none of my business. Seriously. Asking someone if they're okay is not, real, in my opinion, not overstepping a boundary. Because they might not be okay. I'm just saying. And sometimes someone asking you if you're okay is all it takes. Like, having a conversation with someone, you know? Doing something nice. I don't know what the fuck do I know. I don't know shit.
I presume that Miss Cooper told you why I'm here, Miss Santos?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just got back from lunch, you know? But it won't take too long. Don't worry.
Of course it won't. This whole project has established itself to be a matter done in haste. I do hope it doesn't mean that people are being careless in their duties.
Boy, you could lose the attitude, Marianne. She flinches and looks like she doesn't quite know how to respond to that. Thankfully, instead of opening her mouth, she leads the way towards her station and goes to fetch the floor plans. It won't take too long, as she said, but it does take a bit. Time spent to compose herself, most likely.
You know, we usually just email these things.
I prefer the real thing.
Yeah, me too. Not that you would know. You probably have your nose stuck in front of a smartphone when you're not working, and even when you should be working, playing those mindless, addictive games. I put timers on all of mine so I can only play them for an hour a day, and then it cuts me off. Because I was getting the bad habit of sitting there playing games on my phone all fucking day, and I'm like, this isn't good for me. This is not good for me. We're just going to put timers on these games, and we're going to put a timer on you, and a timer on TikTok, and once I hit my allotted hour, we're done. I haven't picked up the games in a couple of weeks because of that, so it's working. I definitely wish Chris would stop playing that Batcat thing during work hours, too. Batcat?
I know what you mean. Digital painting is nice, but nothing beats the smell of real paint. Not that I go and smell paint like a crazy person, but, you know, the real thing is different.
Wait, what?
Yes, nothing is quite like the real thing.
How I feel about books and like, we were just talking about this in Tinder's stream the other night. He was talking about having a bunch of, like, digital copies of movies. I'm like, I prefer DVDs. He's like, nobody uses DVDs anymore. I'm like, I fucking do. Like, I like having the physical copy. Like, if I don't have internet, I have the movie. I can just pop it in the Xbox and watch it. And I'm like, you know, he's like, well, you can download the movies. I'm like, yeah, but that's not the same. And if I don't download it beforehand and just have it there, then I, like, if the power goes out or if the internet goes out, I can't download it because I don't have access to it. So, like, I don't know. I'm just weird. I like physical books. Like, I had a Kobo e-reader for a while. I sold that thing because, like, it felt good, but I hated that it was a tablet just for reading. I couldn't do anything else with it. I'm like, if I'm going to have a tablet device, then I want it to, like, I liked the feel and the texture of my Kobo, but I'd also want to be able to, like, okay, I have this tablet device. I can pull up YouTube on it, plug my headphones into it, and go walk on the treadmill and have YouTube playing or something. Like, I want it to be multifunctional. I'm weird, I know. But then, like, the tablet I had that was multifunctional like that, I didn't like reading books on it because I didn't like how it felt. It felt wrong. So I'm picky when it comes to tablets, which is why I haven't bought a new one. My last tablet was so old, it couldn't even play YouTube videos anymore. So I finally set it in to be recycled. But I haven't bought a new one yet. I still got the keyboard from it, because that still works. But I'm being super picky about a tablet, because I want it to work like a laptop without being a laptop. Like, I want to be... If I can edit videos on it, that would be awesome. But not necessary. I'll figure it out eventually. This is not the time or place to be thinking about damn tablets. Checking out the floor plans, I see that I'll have a lot going for me. Now I know how Ray felt when he found the Central Park West building floor plans from that one movie. This is why I became an architect in the first place. Jacobean style at its finest. The thing of beauty. So this is the ground floor. Oh, okay. That's the music room and the gallery. Okay. Foyer, ballroom. Yeah, because at the top of these stairs, there's... Yeah, you come upstairs and there's the stained glass windows. But it looks like there's a door where that's confusing. Master bedroom, quarters, lots of balconies. I do like balconies. And I think they turned the quarters into like a nursery. Conference room, Jesus. Theater, wow. Okay, yeah, this is quite the place. Where's the attic come into this? Because, like, attic and attic, but where do they actually connect? I assume they connect in the hallway. But I don't understand. Oh, never mind. Right here. Servant's stairway. I would assume that's where... Well, no, that doesn't look like it would fit there either. I don't know where the... Things aren't sensing make. Look at these gorgeous rooms. The delicate harmony between empty spaces. And speaking of empty spaces, there's something rather odd about these ones.
I feel a bit silly saying it out loud because I've never lived in a big house, let alone a mansion. But during the tour, I had the distinct impression that the rooms were bigger. Maybe the scale is wrong? It's not much of a problem. And it is an old house.
There had been little details here and there that I would have liked to address during the open house too. But it was all forgotten in the wake of Miss Santos's incident and the trouble with ownership. The wine cellar is going to be a problem. I shudder to think of what sort of repairs they did to that place. Yeah, because the wine cellar isn't even on the floor plans. There might have been things that were swept under the rug. pushed to the dark corner of the rooms and hidden away in barrels. Water damage could have been covered up. There had been floods due to heavy rains in West England just last year, after all. And if there's any sort of damage to the house's foundation, it's going to be a lot of work. I was not able to look at the attic as well. For all I know, a whole family of vermin could have made their nest there. Working with pest control is always the worst. The sheer size of this place is staggering, even if I did just say it was a lot smaller than I thought. I might just be biting off more than I can chew, but who doesn't like a good challenge? First things first, I'll have to...
So, do you want a coffee? The one from the staff room is pretty decent.
There's really no need. I'm sure you have rules against it.
Rules against bringing someone coffee? That's ridiculous, and even if there were regulations against it, nobody's really here to tell Sir John. I've already brought 2 mugs, and I'm not going to drink them on my own. Come on.
I have to stamp down my annoyance at being distracted. Seeing the girl, the young woman though, it looks like she has a lot on her mind. If babbling is her way of dealing with stray thoughts, I'm not really the one she should be babbling to. You have something to say? I gave her time to speak up, but when she just stares, I clear my throat.
Yes? You have something to say?
As embarrassment creeps up on her face, I snatch one of the coffees from her and take a sip. Too hot.
Just thinking and speaking off the record, it must be fun what you do. You go to people's houses and you make them, well, pretty. You're sharing your art with them.
It's a little bit more complex than that. But if you put it that way, it is fun. I wouldn't have done it for 7 years if it wasn't a little bit fun, I guess.
These big clients always have paintings in their homes. Do you have a supplier for art pieces?
I didn't expect to hear such a question from her, seeing how well she handled herself yesterday. I didn't doubt then why she was assigned to an important sale like the Ermengarde mansion, despite the little accident she had. Now, she just looks too young, too nervous, and unsure of herself, although her enthusiasm must make up for that in spades. In fact, I wouldn't have believed it if she had introduced herself the way she is at the moment. By watching her now, she actually looks like she should still be in college. Acts a bit like it, too, when I think about it. I thought she was a teen slumming it out in the mansion when I first saw her there, lying on the ground. Surprise, surprise, she turned out to be one of the estate agents handling the property. Don't even know what to make of that whole meltdown that happened with that strange document. If I were the client, I would have been very upset. She'd be in hot water for it.
The clients usually support artists of their own choice. If they don't, I'm always happy to refer those that I know.
That's cool.
They're very picky. I don't think a hobbyist will have an easy time getting their work sold.
Hey, I'll have you know I was a student of the fine arts.
And yet, here you are, selling property. Maybe you weren't a very fine student of the arts.
Maybe I took that a bit too far. She bites her cheek, and it looks like she's barely holding herself back.
It's not like I had a choice.
She mutters it under her breath. I barely even hear it. But the hurt is there. And it makes one wonder what brought it on. Although it is understandable if her reason's what I think it is, very few people make it big in the art world. I can see why she'd be upset about it with that enthusiasm. I didn't have a choice when I left Ireland. It was that or years of unemployment, the recession, and the toll it took on the construction industry was out of anyone's control. I don't know what choice she wasn't able to make, whether it was about her being at art school or something else. But the world isn't a fair place, and the sooner she accepts it, the better. Still, with that forlorn look on her face, I can't help but sigh. The girl reminds me far too much of myself when I was younger.
Well, if you're thinking of commissioning your paintings, I'll have to see your work first.
Oh, it's not... I didn't mean it like that. I don't have any paintings.
Right now.
Really? You sounded a lot like you still did art or want to. Now I'm starting to worry that you might just like the smell of paint.
I'm not a paint huffer, sheesh. I just mean I don't make much anymore. I don't really have the time for it. The tools and materials aren't exactly cheap either.
Everything has a price. It sounds like you're making excuses for something you're presumably passionate about. If you really want to practice art, a little out of your wallet isn't much.
It's not that simple.
It's not? Life's simple. People just like to make it complex. Speaking off the record, I have some advice for you, kid. Either go for what you want, or stop thinking about it when you have something else. That is unless you enjoy making yourself miserable, then by all means.
You know, if you wanted to look at the floor plans without me bothering you, you could have just said so.
Would you have left me alone?
We'll never know now, will we?
A strained air settles in the room afterwards. It doesn't help that she doesn't immediately leave, as she has said, lingering awkwardly by the door with that downcast expression. It's clear there's more she means to say, perhaps even to defend herself and her choices in life. Or is she expecting me to dish out more of that advice? It's an awkward affair, and I choose to hightail it out of the realty office as quick as I can. Though I am able to keep myself professional at all times does not mean I like it. That was not professional. The fuck are you talking about? And seeing that most of the day has already gone by before I realized it, I choose to head back to my flat instead. Despite today being a Saturday. No fun. But at least this way I can definitely avoid another unpleasant encounter. Considering how much I'll be seeing whiskey in the near foreseeable future, I have a feeling I need all the rest the weekend can give me. For the first time in a long while, excited as I am to work on the mansion, I cannot wait to be over and done with this project. Alright, I am going to call it here. I'm out of time to record today. I've got to take care of 1,001 other things, as I do every day. But yeah, I'm going to call it here. When we come back, we will continue with Marion's story. And I'll let you know if I have any more updates on the kitties. Yeah. They're doing good, though. I love you, Momo. Were you going to come over? Yeah? You coming to see me? You're so sweet. Aw, big stretch. Hi, baby girl. Hi. You're just a sweetheart, huh? Did you come to say bye to everyone? Yeah? Alright, we're gonna call it here. We'll see you guys later. And remember to do something nice for a stranger today. You just might save a life.